Hello, how are you out there, folks? Yes, it's me, Mr. Lint Monster.
That's right. I made a lint monster. Yes, out of that gross stuff that comes out of your dryer, I made a lint monster. So that every video, my nose gets itchy. What the heck? Anyways, a lint monster. Yes, I made a lint monster. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm going to show you how I made my lint monster. Sit back and watch it, and I hope you enjoy it. Oh, by the way, I did actually make two. One without clay. That's the other guy. I liked him, but it wasn't good enough. I needed this guy here. All right, so watch the video, guys, please, and subscribe, like, bell for notification, all that kind of stuff. But sit back and watch. Alright guys, so basically one of the things I wanted to show you was how you get started on your armature. So you figure out your shape. I'm grabbing something like a plastic lid here that I found that basically I thought, okay, I'll add a little bit of tape to it and then I'll hit it with the tin foil. And all you're doing is just wrapping around, right? And now you have a base to whatever you want to work with, right? So you know that, okay, you might want to put eyes here, and then you can basically grow from there. So that's all I do. And what I do is I'm kind of lazy, and I don't like to use a big roll. So what I do is I grab this Betty Crocker single sheets. It's so nice and easy because you can just pull it out like this and then just start cramming it on there. And that's what I like, to just be able to work with it fast, because this is one of those situations where your armature can be a bit on the loose side. You don't have to have this beautiful shape and everything like that, because it's going to be a monster, right? And so you can see as I start to build them up there, right? I grab another sheet, right? And the nice thing is the tin foil just adheres nicely to itself. And then if you have a problem where it's going to fall off or anything like that, that's when you bring in the old masking tape. And all you got to do there is just grab your old masking tape and just wrap it around little spots where you want it. And that way you don't have to worry about it falling off or falling apart while you're sculpting, right? Here, I just didn't get a big piece there. Let's see, look, nice and simple, straightforward, easy, right? It doesn't make it a difficult situation. And then the thing is too, is that as you're building, you can start to see spots and things that you want to do to make it look better, right? As I say, if you're going to hit it with the tape, that's going to allow the clay to adhere to it really well too, right? So all you're doing is something as simple as that, right, to make that work, right? I'm hoping this is actually going in the right direction. Like I say, it's something fairly new for me to actually have a camera of another direction. And then you can just start to shape, like if you want to do a leg, right? So, or a leg or an arm, right? What you're doing is you make that shape, you push it around, right? You got it. You're looking at that, you're saying to yourself, okay, that's a leg, right? Boom. Now the nice thing there, again, you can take your masking tape and wrap it around so that it actually kind of gives that nice shape that you want, right? And then you can also, again, making sure your clay adheres, right? And then once you've got that shape the way you want and you're happy with it, all you've got to do there is attach again. And again, this is one of those situations where you don't have to be really on top of it. Like, you don't have to be super perfect. You know, you don't have to make sure the leg's in a perfect position. The other thing too is sometimes I'll have a little knife or something sharp with me, or a pencil or something like that, and that way I can actually take or yeah, actually even the shaping tool, right, the actual proper shaping tool, but literally just take it and push on it for a second, maybe rip the thing so that I can get those little lines that I want to give me where my shape of the leg is, right? So you can see how that works. It just comes in like that. That's the leg, right? Okay, there we are. This is going pretty good. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit more to this because I can already see the things that I want to do to make sure there's some shape. So I'm thinking that my eyes, I would like them about here, right? So again, all I'm going to do is bend some tin foil into the position that I want And then I'm going to grab my tape and then tape it on so that it'll look good and it'll stay where I want. And that's it. It's pretty straightforward again. Like I say, the rest of it's just your imagination. You can make the creature whatever you want. Remember, the big fun part of this whole situation is that it's a lint monster, right? So he's actually going to have lint all over his body. Yeah, it's going to be weird. It's going to be weird. Yeah. Very weird. Very weird. I know. But I like it. So now you can see that there is the eyes in there, right? And then as I said, I'm going to put glass eye in there, and then I will actually show you how that works. It's going to be really super cool because, as I said, it just kind of adds that a little bit more life to the situation, right? Because the first one I did, I liked it, but it didn't have that little extra bit of life to it. And I think this one here is going to have that life to it. Hopefully. Anyways, looks like it's going to be. Who knows? Okay, so here we are. This is a piece of the glass eye, what I was saying. And they call it a chevron, I think, or I'm not exactly sure I'm saying the right word. But as you can see, this piece of glass right here, right? What's going to happen is I'm going to show you how you paint it so it actually looks like an eye. And when you see that part, that's the part that's really super cool, right? Because it really, like I say, just suddenly a little monster's got a life. You know, he's this little monster. It's gonna be cool. Oh, I'm getting excited. All right, guys. So remember I told you earlier, sometimes I use something sharp, and all I'm doing there is I want to have a little bit more depth in one area, so I can push, right? And that's all you're gonna do, just to make sure that something's in place. So I've added another leg in there. Now, one of the things I did want to mention is the fact that I know when I'm doing this right now, I'll have to it'll take me a while to teach myself. But to work completely in front of the camera with the clay or with anything that I'm sculpting, simply because I like to pick it up and have it right there in front of my hand, and that doesn't work for you guys. So I'm just trying to make sure it works out right. And I'm going to add in a little front mouth there so that he can kind of talk to us, I think will be the next thing. See, I'm going to add the mouth right in here. So again, and just kind of get in the shape, right? Yeah, that's what I want. And then I'll put the two little arms down here. So it's kind of a frog-like kind of monster. And then, like I say, you can just add whatever you want. You can actually make the whole shape totally different. It doesn't have to be the shape. What it is you're going to add some eyes in it. You're going to add some, a nose or whatever you want. Some extra little pieces in that. Some ears, whatever makes you happy. And then that you're going to add that clay to it, and then when that clay's done, you're going to add the glue, and then you're going to add the lint, and that's what's really going to make this monster a felt monster. Come on, try that again, Paul. A lint monster, right? We're going to use something that you normally would just throw away, right? We're going to make some art out of it. Why not? Let's have some fun, right? Of course. All right, I'm going to just add a nose to lint monster here. So I think this is going to work too. And then basically that's just going to go right in there, right? Because I like to have his bottom lip kind of sticking out because I'm going to put teeth in here too, right? So nose here, teeth in there, and then the two front little legs will be right there, and then whatever else I want to add in. Okay, guys? Sounds good? Okay, so guys, now as you can see, I've shaped this out, right? We've got a form. So we have something we can work with. The next part is to do the clay. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you that clay recipe, right? There are lots of recipes you can get online, but we'll make sure that you get it. So we'll just pop it up there, or maybe I can get Sue to actually make the recipe and you can actually watch her making it. I think that would be kind of cool.
3/4 cup of PVA glue. 1 cup of all-purpose drywall compound. 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour, up to 1 cup, depending on how thick or smooth you want your clay to be. Rip off 100 sheets of cheap 2-ply eco toilet paper, not the thick plush kind. $99, $100. Wet the paper with warm water. And then squish out all water as much as you can. Once you tear the paper up, it should be enough to measure about 1 1/4 cups worth of wet paper. 1 1/4 cups of damp paper. 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. 3/4 cup of PVA glue. And 1 cup of drywall compound. This batch turned out a little bit sticky, so we needed to add a tablespoon of linseed oil. Store in an airtight container and use within 2 days, 3 maximum, or it'll end up getting moldy and looking like this.
All right, guys. So one of the things I do want to express to you is that if you're going to use this clay, you probably want to start working that day with it. Don't store it. It doesn't store well. And the other thing too is you've got like a day or two to work with it. And then after that, this will happen. You will start to grow your own plants in your own world. You can see all the little fuzzies in here and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, it's a good idea not to let it go too long, and that if anything's in there that contaminates it, it'll definitely go bad like this. But once it's dry, it's perfect. It's great. So yeah, just make sure you work with it quickly. Okay? And it's basically the only thing. All right, guys. So what we have here is that we now have a dry piece that is ready for painting. So we've done all the sculpting in that. Bunny, get out of the way for a second. So done all the sculpting, done everything like that. Looks good. I'm quite happy with it. I think it's going to work, and we'll go from there. And I was going to say, I'm going to mix up some colors just so we can figure out what it'll look like. And basically what I'm going to do is like a wash over the whole thing, and then wherever I want to highlight new colors, I'll just put those in later. Okay, so for the base of the situation, or the wash that I'm going to do, I just grabbed some black acrylic liquid paint, put a little bit of that, whoops, that's a lot, and then I just thought I didn't want to make it solid black, so I'm just going to add a little bit of color. So I have some purple here, that purple would be nice, and then I'm just going to mix that up, right, and could maybe actually a little more purple. But I think once it's on there, it'll look fine. I'm just mixing it up, just basically just to, yeah, just don't want a solid black. Maybe a little more purple would be nice. Yeah, I think so. Hit it with a little more purple, maybe. I mean, that part there doesn't really matter because it's under stuff, right? You're going to be putting stuff on top of it. So all it is like through little cracks and crevices, you'll see maybe another color. That's all. Something pretty simple. Nothing too hard, right? Once I got that done, then I'm going to just paint the actual piece itself. All right, guys. So basically, real simple, is basically just a wash. Goes on, right? Nothing too hard, nothing too strenuous, right? And I don't care if I hit the teeth or the inside the mouth. Basically, I just want to cover everything, and then I can, if I decide later I want to highlight some colors, I can. Keep it still. I can do that, right? Now you can also notice that I'm trying something a little different here film-wise. I'm using 2 cameras. Never done that before. Just thought it'd be kind of fun to see how it works. It's time to advance myself a little bit here on how I do things, right? I'm kind of a minimalist when it comes to doing this. But as you watch some of the other videos that you see out there, some of these people do some pretty amazing stuff. And I mean, even if I can give partially that situation, I mean, you can't just base everything on the art. It's also the entertainment of actually seeing the little video that you're watching, right, guys? So, hopefully you like what you see, but I need to make it a little more entertaining. I'll have to keep working on this. But yeah, it's a bit of fun, and trying to use a new camera is a bit of fun too. So there you are. You're starting to see it. I'll finish it up real quick, and we'll go from there. So as you can see, guys, the slurry just goes on, right? It covers everything and that. And then, as I said, just start to add the other stuff later, as because I'm going to put on the actual lint next with glue and that. So I'm going to make that happen all across it, and then wherever the little areas where it's, you know, plain like this, where the wood is, we can actually add colors to that to really kind of give it some life. And then we're also going to put the glass eyes in. So I'll show you how that's done too, okay? So it'll be a little bit of fun. I'll show you how that works. It's really simple and easy to do, and it makes it just so much better. It's very, very expressive. All right, so I have basically put my wash on. As you can see, he's completely covered. I'll let it dry. If there's any little spots that I need to fix up, I can do that. And basically, as I say, I'm using another camera here, so I'm having a little bit of experiment time with that and learning how to do it right. Simply because if when I was drawing, I always used to draw just overhand with the camera, and that was easy. But now, if I'm sculpting something for you guys to see, I kind of think you need to see another view. So hopefully this works out, okay? So we're just going to keep plugging away and see how it goes. Guys, now I'm going to add some of the actual glue. Now, one of the things I do want to emphasize is that when you are using the lint, it is not, it's got human hair in it, right? So if you're doing something like this for a fun project to do, I have fun with it. Do it. Make it go crazy. Have fun with it. But it's not a toy, okay? Because you remember there's hair, right? And so I don't think this is something that you want to have near small children. This is just one of those things that you'd put on your shelf and people would look at it and go, what the heck is that? And you're like, oh, it's a lint monster, right? And that's funny, and they can laugh and that, and it'll be nice to look at. But I just don't think you should be using it as like a thing like for kids to play with. I just don't see that. Okay, so I've let you know, tell you what I thought, right? And we'll go from there. So you're going to add in your lint, okay? So what's going to happen here, I've added some glue, I find my lint, right? And I'm going to apply it. And there we are. Now, the thing is, you can dab it in like this, right? And you're just going to keep doing that, right? You'll add a little bit of glue, dab a dab, right? And just keep on going. It does get messy. It is fun in that sense, you know. Make sure you have it on something that you don't care about. So this is just a really scrappy piece of canvas that I'm working on here. But all I'm doing is just adding in the glue, getting it up to where I like it to be, right? You can kind of, like I say, if you use a stick, a brush, whatever you're going to use, yeah, just have it there so that you can actually see what you're doing, right? And I'm going to turn this guy a little bit more. I didn't realize that is not in the camera view. All right, so I got to pay attention more often. Okay, sorry guys. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit out of the norm for me because, as I say, I'm used to just filming from the top and doing it with if I'm drawing. But I remember when I first started doing that when I was drawing. I even found that hard because I wanted to pick up my pad every once in a while. So now when I draw, I can draw where it's like flat on the surface, and I can do that, which is not always that easy, but it makes it work for the camera. Right? It's kind of funny how if you use a tool, you got to figure out, well, how does this tool work, and how does it work to make people understand how to do something, right? So there you are. See, now again, I just boom. My little felt monster. Lint monster. Lint. Not a felt monster. I was using felt fine. You probably could use felt if you wanted to. I mean, that's totally up to you. I mean, I just wanted to use lint because I was like looking at it, and I think that's part of that little dyslexic brain that allows us to sometimes kind of look outside the box and not really look at something and say, oh, well, that's what that is. I looked at it and I said, I bet you I could make monsters out of this, right? And it really got to me. I just kept thinking about it. And then I said to myself, I got to do something. I just got to make something and make it happen. It'll be fun, I think. I hope, anyways. Like I say, I'm enjoying it. Like I said, I did the first one. I did enjoy it, but I just didn't feel it was enough. It's building. coming together. Yay! You are so cool, Lint Monster. So, I'm putting glue on the legs. See how that goes. And I can bring it right up to those toes because I'm going to color those toes, right? I want them to actually pop out on this. Now, I'm pretty sure you could use a brush with this. My only thoughts are that you're just going to waste a lot of brushes and that. So I figured a stick. I think, actually, this is a chopstick. Yeah, it's a chopstick. So I just grabbed it from the drawer because we had those because I happen to like a lot of sushi and that type of thing to eat. So there you are. One tool you can use for another. There. So now that I got that glue on there, again, I'm going to take my lint and I am simply going to apply it. Now the nice thing is, like I say, if you kind of pay attention, you can actually do different tones. It's a mess. It looks gross, but it's cool.
Look at that little lint monster. Look at me. I'm starting to develop into a lint monster. Look at me.
Oh, he's finished. Oh my gosh, he's going to be great. Oh, I love him. So I've got the one side done on the back, and so I'm just going to work the same situation. So one of the things you might find a little sometimes difficult as you're using the glue and stuff gets attached to it, it starts to thicken up a little bit. So you might have to just keep changing out. What I did was I bought one of those big, I don't know, it's like 2 liters of white glue. And it doesn't really, I don't think it really matters what white glue you use. Just a basic all-purpose glue is all you need, right? And like I say, I just scratch it in on that, and once I've got it to where I like it, and I think, okay, I can add some stuff to it, I'll do that, right? So kind of fill in my spot, right? Get it kind of up to where I think it looks good, and it's okay if stuff drips because it doesn't really matter. Nope, not at all. All right, so I just kind of pull this over like this. There we are. All right, so now I'm going to hit it with my lint. I'm using this lighter lint on the back. I'm going to see what happens. And yeah, there you are. It's all sticking on. And you pull and you stick, and you pull and you stick, and you pull and you stick. Isn't that lovely? All right, now it's time to work on the face. So what I see here is that I want to put some glue in here. A lot of that. Pull it around. The nose. I'm going to leave a bit of the nose exposed because I think that would be kind of cool if I do some paint with that. So I'm just going to go on little spots that I think are going to work to enhance the face, and that. There's those hairs that I was talking about. Yeah, it's kind of gross. But all I'm going to do is pull them out and just throw them off to the side. When you're finished, you can go around and pull the whole thing with, if you want to really, kind of get something going there. You can pull as much hair off as you want, but I personally am going to leave it that way because I like the idea of it, being kind of weird and gross. Yeah. So again, I'm going to do this here. A bit of hair hanging down this way, and then I think I'm going to go right underneath the lip with glue. Need maybe a little bit more than that. Oops, too much. You can just little bits at a time. That way you can kind of get an idea what you want. Like I said, I'm going to do this over top there. I need a little bit more drip over here. Fill that in. All right. And then, as I'm going to say, I'm going to hit this with the glue, or with the lint. And then just keep hitting it and pulling, hitting and pulling, hitting and pulling. Basically the way it works. Manipulate it a little bit with your finger. Hit it. Hit it. Oh gosh, he's so cute. I love him. Oh my god, I love him. He's great.
I'm not in the world I live in. Oh, lint monster, yes. Oh, I'm such a lint monster. Happy, happy, happy. Happy, happy.
Look at the face. Look at the face. Oh my god. Oh jeez, I'm so happy. So I did realize a little mistake I did make. Basically, you can learn from me, is that I should have actually painted first my colors, because now I'm going to get this on. All right. So what I was going to say is that I should have actually painted this guy first, and then did the stuff after that. But we make mistakes in life, so that's just the way it works. So I'm going to paint up his nose, and then after that I'm going to paint his teeth. Yeah, see, I should have taken a little bit more time. I'm going to say, and then, yeah, kind of like the way it is. I think I'm going to paint right inside his mouth too. Yeah, I'm going to give him a little wash inside his mouth. Right? And then there's a little bit of blood lip. Yeah. You know, just, and this is just basic acrylic paint that I'm using. Nothing overly out of the ordinary. And that. But yeah, it gives him a nice little mouth. And I like that. And then I'm going to paint up the toes. And then I said I'll paint up the mouth. And yeah, I think I like that. Doesn't have to be much more than what that is. And then, like I said, I'm going to add the white in there. And then I'm going to put the glass eyes in. But I'm going to put the glass eyes in last, because I think they're going to look really sharp. I'm going to paint around his eyes in purple, I think. Yeah, purple seems like it would be a nice color to paint around his eyes. Just in here, just that type of thing. Yeah, just boom. See, like I say, I should have actually painted the thing first. That would have been really easy. I could have made my life so much easier. But as life goes on, you make little mistakes, you learn from them. And I just learned that I shouldn't have done it that way. But that's okay. Because it's still going to turn out darn cool. Yes, 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 yes. And then I'm going to put the little knobby things on the back, and I grabbed the aquamarine kind of color, I think it is. And that's going to go in the back. Mix that up a little bit. And like I say, I just have to spin this around. And again, just paint my little knobs on top. It's gonna look cool. I like it, I like it, I like it. So I painted my little knobbies on top. I could definitely do a second coat with that if I need to. Right, goes on the wood pretty easy. And there we are. That's that part done. Now I'm going to add some more by just adding other colors. I'm going to do the toes. See? I'm just going to paint his toes. And again, it would have been a lot easier if I just painted that first. But I get so excited sometimes that I kind of jump ahead on things. Pretty sure we all do that. I was so excited because I was like, oh, I just want to show you guys how this is going to look, right? And I'm still happy with it. It's not a problem. And then the other thing too is that if I want to, I can actually bring that fur line up to right where the toes are. And I think that even works better because it just kind of gives a little exposure of the toes, but not too much. And again, I'm not like slapping it on so that it's like beautiful, because it doesn't need to be. It's a little monster. And he has this little monster way about him. Yeah, got the toes done. Right? I like it. I like it a lot, actually. And then I'm going to do the teeth next, and we'll go from there. So this is the glass eye. I believe they called it a chevron. Chevron? Anyways, you can buy these pretty much any craft show, art store type thing. And basically what it is just a little glob of glass. Some people put it on the bottom of plants and stuff like that. There's all kinds of different ways you can use it. But to make an eye, this is really, really, really simple. Okay? So literally, flip it over so that you got your flat side. I like to make it easy as pie for myself. So literally, I make a black line with one of my oil markers. And once that is done, I just leave it, right? You might want to flip it over just so you can get an idea. Did you get the black, right? Which, you know, oh yeah, I can see it, right? So what you'll do is let it dry, and then I might add another coat, right? Just one more time, simply because you want to make sure that you've got it's fairly solid, right? Yeah, I'm going to just do that. I'm going to add, I think this marker is kind of a little dull. You know what? Hold on a second. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm going to make this even easier. So, took my little glass piece here. Sue bought me one of these boom markers, right? So what you do is, I just literally just dab. This even makes it better because the line comes out really nice and straight. And then you just plop it down. You're going to let it dry, and there you are. So if you really want to be super lazy, it's a black graphic markers by Boom is what I use, right? One of these big giant guys. And I literally just made the line across. That way, even drawing with this was a little bit more frustrating, and this is faster. So there you are. And then watch, I'll show you in a second when I add the other color to it. So what I did here is I've got some Liquitex acrylic ink. It's a nice product. I like to work with that. Easy to deal with. So I grabbed some of that. It goes on somewhat thick, right? And then all I'm going to do is take my little glass thing here, and I am just going to go boom, and then boom, and that's it. And I am done. I can wait, and I can try to fill that in. Do a second dab if you want. Yeah, okay. So now I am done. So there you are. I let that dry, right? Once that's dry, I'm going to show you exactly what happens. Actually, you know what? I've got an extra one on the side here. So here we are. Check this out. Look at this. There is your glass eye. From that, you can make this, right? And that works, man. That looks so cool. It's not that hard. Oh, I can see a little spot there I might need to fill. But really, in the overall, it doesn't matter. Check that out. Look at that. Boom. So simple. Another look at Lint Monster. That's right. Lint Monster. Lint Monster. So, Lint Monster has been made. Gonna eat the screen. Wow, it was fun to do. Gosh, guys. Just, you know what? You need to do that once in a while. I mean, I sit down, I draw, and I love doing that. And I'm a little maybe more serious, but this kind of stuff here, I just had a heck of a fun time. And I think it's really good and therapeutic for yourself. A couple things is, we didn't mention that in the video, that if you are going to be using the clay, I put a little bit of linseed oil or some kind of oil on my fingers so that when I'm working on it, it doesn't stick to my fingers. If you find it does get a little sticky, add just a little bit of linseed oil or something like that onto it. That'll work great. But yeah, I think my little buddy turned out great. I think it's a fun thing to do. Just remember, it's not toy. You know, it's something you can put on the shelf, but don't have little kids playing with it because there's hair on there. Ugh. right? So basically beyond that, I think just have fun with it. Make this little gross creature and have him sitting around. And the thing is, too, is that it can be any way you like, right? So I got him like this, right? And then I did actually make another one, and that's this guy here. And he's quite different. I like him too, but I needed a little bit more form for this guy, and this guy doesn't have any clay. I just used tin foil and that, so you can go that way too. As long as your glue's on there and it's sticking on, it'll look great. So have fun with it. Beyond that, that's my little smock here. Great idea, and really good for anybody who's an artist, especially somebody like myself who, when I sit down, I sometimes forget that I'm wearing good clothes, or I just get excited by wanting to do something and I don't go and change. This is a smock that you can wear, right? Gustav Klimt used to wear something like this, so I thought, well, if it's good for Gustav, it's good for me. So guys, grab one of these. Hopefully we can leave you some information about how to get one. You can throw paint on it, whatever, it doesn't matter, right? Keep getting them stained, it doesn't matter, right? But they're comfortable. Oh, beautiful. Anyways, what else? Be cool like a big bull moose. And remember to wear your pants.